everyone. Today is the day 3 of our Vagamon ride. Today we are heading back to Bengaluru. So things are set. So it's been raining very badly since we have come here. It's very difficult to dry anything up. So we had to segmentize in our bag. Wet, half clothes dry. And now it's almost 5 and we are heading back to Bengaluru. Alright, so this is me, and now we're gonna start. Suman bhai has already. Alright, so we are starting now. I'm not sure if it is visible, but it has started raining. Also, today as well, we are starting at 5:30 a.m. So while coming from Bangalore to this place, Vagamon, from Silk Board, we started at 5:30 and then reached here at 4:30. So 11 hours it was from Silk Board. हाँ नहीं नीचे नहीं हाँ ऊपर and from Vagamon as well we are starting at क्या हो गया अरे यार क्या पता है लगता है आपकी गाड़ी ने अब कसम खा ली पत्थर चालू हो रहा है Alright, so the time is almost 6. It's been 24 minutes since we have started. I have not reset my trip meter, so I won't be able to tell how many kilometers we have cruised so far, but I can say about 10-15 kilometers, I guess. That should be it. We are only able to ride at 20 till 40 speed range. The road conditions a little bit bad, but that's not the major worry for us. The major worry is the rain. Since our these pin locks, everything could not survive such a rain. I mean, everything is a mess. Helmet too. So that's the major problem. Anyway, it's still showing 9 or 30 minutes. But I'm pretty sure as we start stopping, or I should say as we take small breaks, it's gonna go till 4:30 or 5 maybe, and this thing is showing from till my home. So okay, so my intercom also is not working properly because of the rain. It got drenched in the rain, and that's one of the reason why we both are not connected and relying only on basic signals. For example, whenever he'll give any dipper, I would consider something is there, so I should look back. That's one. And the other thing is the horn. So blow horn to tell me that something is wrong. So that's what we intend to do. Now, as I was saying, everything is a mess. I'm not sure if the camera can do the justice where you can see the water, but still, okay. It's very difficult to view the road, in fact. So if you ask me about Vagamon, yesterday also I said the same thing. I'm in love with Vagamon. I'm in love with Munnar as well. I'm in love with Vagamon as well. So both are hill stations and both do justice to being a small hill station. From the people to the place to the valleys to the roads, everything remind me of home, so it's easier to say that. Since I'm from Himachal, I judge hills only from a perspective that how big they are. But I totally respect hills, so No such thing where I would consider even the small hill as any of an easy task. I always believe that nature should not. How long this thing we have like more. Such hills are the best places to stay or to live or to even build a family from the scratch, I would say. You're living closer to the nature, you learn the ways of the nature, and believe it or not, nature gives you really good nutrients in terms of the vegetations and everything. So if you ask me, I would always prefer to stay in a natural situation, in a natural setting, and less of city. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see this, but let me this way. So these are the mountains from where we are coming. This is where we were staying. I mean, behind them, on them, you can say. So finally we are down. Now we're gonna have tea and remove our raincoats. नहीं अभी भी है
ना।
हाँ
यहाँ आने के बाद खत्म हो जा रहा है।
हाँ करेक्ट। एक काम करो ना, ये लकड़ी लो और बीच में अटकाओ, है ना। वो लकड़ी पड़ा है, देखो वो लकड़ी लो, उसको घुमाओ और इसमें अटकाओ, तोड़ ताड़ के उसको गोल 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 ऐसे घुमाओ।
ऐसे नहीं जाएगा, पतला,
इसलिए मैं इसको तोड़ तोड़ के वो कर रहा हूँ ना। गियर पे, गियर हटाओ,
करो।
गियर हटा दो। आई थिंक अब नहीं होगा, है ना। देखो अगर ये जुगाड़ चल गया फिर तो अपन चल जाएंगे, वरना वैसे तमिलनाडु में वही 10-11 बजे के आसपास KTM शोरूम ढूंढना शुरू करेंगे। So again at the hotel RP. Last time यहाँ कितने बजे आए थे मेरे को कुछ याद नहीं, but the food here is good, so we decided to stop here and have our breakfast before we move forward. So right now it's about 5.5 hours which is remaining. So just a quick update. Alrighty, so we are done with our breakfast at Hotel Aarti. So I must tell you, this hotel is really good. I mean, when we were going to Vagamon, we also stopped at this place only for our lunch, I would say. And today, while returning to Bengaluru, also we stopped here for our breakfast. So the food here is good. I ate puri dosa. That's something I'm in love with. So that's done. It's tasty, so that works in my favor. Anyway, now we are starting again. So it's 5 hour 30 minutes for me. That's what it is showing. And for him it is showing about 6 hour 45 minutes, since he stays in the northern Bengaluru region, and I'm at Sarjapura. So we'll be entering Bengaluru from that area itself, so it gets easier for me. Anyway, 315 kilometers remaining. So far we have traveled roughly 210 kilometers, and the time is 10:30. So we started at 5:30. We have taken exactly 1 2 3. This was the second break for us. So first break we took at about 46 kilometers. That was after we came down the hill, so we stopped for chai. Now after that we traveled for 150 kilometers, and this was our second stop. Here we again spent about half an hour, roughly 45 minutes. And now our next stop will be only after 150 kilometers. So let me check. So right now it's 2:27. We should be stopping post we cover 350 kilometers. So that's the idea. Now in terms of the weather, sun is out. To be very frank, we were hoping that we do not have to encounter the sun throughout this journey. But since we have come down from that hill, sun has been consistent. In fact, these clouds, on the other hand, are there, but somehow sun has always been out. We haven't gotten much shade from the clouds. Anyway, but the weather is still fine. We are okay. When you're riding, especially in the morning hours, even though it might be sunny, you would not encounter that much heat. Reason being, good amount of wind is flowing for you, right? So that's been sorting things out for us. But as we move, or as we inch towards the mid-day scenario, that's like 12, 1, 2, that's when the sunlight is at its peak. So we just have to, I mean, we are praying that by that time sun gets covered in the clouds. But let's hope, let's see. Anyway, so let's continue. Alright, so I am gonna go on cruise mode and again rest for some more time. I'm not sure if you have, I mean, you'd be seeing that footage anyways. I was cruising at about 90 to 100. It's easier that way. Alright. So I keep my legs on this crash guard. These extenders are there, right? So I keep it there, and now I'm sorted. I'm gonna pick the left lane so that any vehicle that has to overtake me can easily do that, while I cruise here at about 100. So yeah, clean India, green India. In fact, I vouch for that initiative. So please keep your cities clean as much as possible. Whatever waste is there, try to hold it on to you. If you don't see a dustbin, and only throw it when you see the dustbin. Don't just randomly throw it out, especially for the people who are traveling on the road. So I've seen a lot of these cars, I mean they'll be a family would be traveling in the car, and what they'll do is they'll have snacks, foods, everything, and they'll simply throw it out on the road. Guys, it's a very small thing. You can keep a dustbin in your car. It's an easier thing to do. But apart from that also, let's say you do not want to keep a dustbin, at least stack hold of that garbage and only throw it once you find a dustbin. Please, it's a request. It's our land, it's our country. If we ourselves would not keep it clean, who will? So please avoid littering places just because you're not a resident of that place. When I say resident, what I mean is when you're traveling on the road, you would be like, ये हम यहाँ हमारा थोड़ना है, हमारा घर थोड़ना है, कुछ भी कहीं भी फेंक दिया. Don't do that. It's a request. बाकी भाई जिसने करना है वो करेगा ही करेगा. उसको आप बोलो, समझाओ, समझने को राज़ी हो तो अलग बात है. अभी देखो बात करते करते यहाँ पे धूप चली गई. किस्मत. थैंक यू गॉड. Thank you so much. Thank you, clouds. Okay, too much air pushing me from the left hand side, so I have to be very careful. I'll have to at least keep one hand, since the bike is cruising at 100. I have to be careful because that wind slap can disbalance the bike. I'm really grateful that KTM guys have given this cruise control. Not many bike manufacturers really understood the importance of cruise control. Guys, this is really important. Please give this feature. Especially the Indian manufacturers. Please do give this feature. Maybe Royal Enfield could be the next bike that can give the cruise control. Otherwise, I know TVS. They have given cruise control in one of their bikes. Anyway, so I'm gonna cruise for some time. I'm gonna listen to some songs, and then I'll catch you up in a moment. Yeah, see you then. Well, 215 kilometers to go, and about 4 hours remaining. It's a beautiful weather right now. I mean, it's cloudy, and these clouds are scary as well because they can rain anytime. Anyway, so beautiful weather, and we have been riding pretty quick since we started from Hotel Aarti. So we have done about 100 kilometers actually. And when was this? When did we start from Hotel Aarti? I guess at 11:11, if I'm not wrong. No, not at 11:11. I guess 10:30ish something. So in about 50 minutes roughly we have done about 100 kilometers. We intend to do about 50 kilometers more. So basically our intention is to cross Salem, only then we shall stop. So that's the idea for now. Now let's see how things pan out. I just hope it doesn't rain before we cross Salem, because if it starts raining we'll have to of course stop and wear our rain gears. Otherwise 50 more kilometers, probably half an hour, not more. The mileage as of now, because in between I'm literally going at 140, 150s. So my mileage has dropped down from about 26.5 roughly to about 24.4. And 31 kilometers, so just reduce about 15 kilometers from here. So we have done about 315 kilometers for today, since we started at about 5:30. So we started at 5:30. It's like roughly 6 hours. Yes, it is 6 hours. 6 hours. We have done 315 kilometers with about 2 breaks in between. Those breaks, if I have to calculate, would be at max would be about 1 hour. So if I calculate that, about 5.5 hours and 5.5 hours and 300 plus kilometers done. Out of which, again, 2.5 hours we took in that hilly area to cover 45 kilometers. So again, now that brings us down to 3 hours and roughly 260 kilometers. Pretty good ride then, yeah. Alright, so last 156 kilometers remaining for me and about 169 kilometers for him. Thankful. Okay, yeah, so we are in Tamil Nadu. It's about 3 hours to go. Alright, so we are left with under 150 kilometers and the time left is about 2 hours 51 minutes. Something happened. Let us see what happened. Hanji, अरे यार वो रे, तो हमारा लकड़ी का जुगाड़ जो था वो लकड़ी उड़ गई, अब वापस लगानी पड़ेगी. थैंक्स टू KTM हमने सारे जुगाड़ सीख लिए. KTM and Royal Enfield both. That's me. अब हमें लकड़ी मिलना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. यहाँ देखना, डबल कर लो, डबल. So yeah, 2 hours 50 minutes to go and I'll be home. एक मिनट में देखता हूँ लेके कहाँ से जा रहा है. क्या हो गया? पहले एक डालो. हाँ, हट तो गया है. वार्निंग आ रहा है, वार्निंग आ रहा है. नहीं आ रहा है. हाँ हाँ, ये एक और नीचे ठूस दो, नीचे की साइड से. नहीं नहीं, इसके नीचे. हाँ, नहीं है, आ तो नहीं रहा. होसूर में, मतलब अपना इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिटी वाला एरिया जो है, उससे पहले. अगर अभी इशू आता है तो करवा लो फिर, पर फिर वही है, आप गांड फट जाएगी घर जाते जाते. ये कैसे खुल जा रहा है बार बार? लूज हो गया. चलो, मिनट गाने लगा लेते हैं. The moment you're stopping anywhere, गर्मी इतनी ज़्यादा लग रही है कि भाई साहब बुरा हाल. अभी हम वापस चले तो the air flow itself is giving me a very good cool. I don't really understand why, but आज क्या है, these I'm not sure if you can see these butterflies in the camera, but there are a lot of them. Already one has hit me and you can see a patch of a dead butterfly here already, and I'm dodging as many as I can see. So it's getting a little tricky, but not sure why they are out. Maybe because of the rain. Usually during the rain or the first rain they come out, right? So that could be the case, but yeah, complete visor of my helmet is having a dead butterfly. So yeah, it's quite hot today, by the way. Hot as in while we were going towards Vagamon, throughout there were clouds, and I'm talking about the rain clouds, so consider those clouds. The weather, I would say, would be averaging at about 28, 9ish or 30, 31ish kind of degrees Celsius. Right now it feels like 35ish. So yeah, the heat is getting unbearable. Luckily, this new jacket of mine from Exxon, this is the Garco jacket. So this one has really good vents through the mesh, and a good amount of air is passing through all these mesh settings. However, still it is hot. So wherever we are taking a break, I am removing my jacket so that I can breathe. But yeah, as the summers approach, it gets difficult to ride. So monsoons is love. Winters, of course, is peace. Summers, teaches you a lot of things. Anyway, this is some reserved forest kind of a area. I mean, whenever we cross this, there are, what do you say, those announcements going on the microphone, on speaker properly, and everywhere it's written that this is some or the other way of crossing area for some or the other animal, so be careful. But yeah, during the daytime, not much of an issue. I'm guessing only during the night time the animals would be crossing this road. Anyway, look at that. Look at that cloud. Beautiful, man. So I am realizing this thing. Every ride that we do brings a whole new experience altogether. Teaches us how to tackle issues. It teaches us how to tackle good and bad, both scenarios, and every time it is fun. Fun. Big time fun, man. Quite windy though, as we approach Bangalore. Usually towards the city it's not this windy, but good tight wind slaps on the way. Not sure why there's traffic here, man. Some police guys have stopped the flow of traffic. ये पुलिस ने रोका हुआ है, ये
रोका हुआ है, कुछ काम चल रहा
है यार। अब बैठे बैठे अब मेरा ये दर्द होना शुरू हो चुका है। बैठे बैठे दर्द शुरू हो गया है मेरे को। जान दो यार, गर्मी में मर जाएंगे यार, जान दे। चलो ओए थू। कुछ लोग होते ही गवार हैं भाई, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते उनका। ना हेलमेट पहना ना कुछ पहना है। 100 सीसी की बाइक नहीं है कि हीरो बन रहा है, गधा। तो आज समझ आया कि ये लोग कैसे एग्जैक्टली चाहते हैं। माय गुडनेस, इट्स सो डिफिकल्ट टू drive this truck, man. Salute to the team, whole team that's actually coordinating this. I am hoping you can see the number of, oh my goodness, butterflies. Too many of them. Proud, bro, proud. Too many butterflies, man. These are because of the rain, I believe. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to avoid them from hitting me. Okay, I'm gonna put it on cruise now. Gonna give myself some rest to my hands. These butterflies, I do not want to kill you guys. Please, please, please do not come on in my way, please. Humble request. See, Alright, I can't cruise right now. Such a beautiful road, I would like to rev. See. Poor butterflies. Okay, so Bangalore is 156 kilometers. So when they say Bangalore, they are actually going for that. Oh my goodness! Only if you have captured this. I hope. 127 kilometers for me. Otherwise, Bangalore is about 154 kilometers. So when they say Bangalore, the center point is considered as Majestic, which is the Campegowda bus station. The center of Bangalore, you may call. Toll Plaza. क्यों जा रहा है? वाह. Oops. Electric vehicle charging stations. I saw a lot of charging stations, man, today. On this route, I see at least one charging station in every 30 or 40 kilometers, which is new, really new, and I'm really glad there are so many charging stations coming up on the main highways. This will ease the travel for people with electric vehicles. Now, I'm not a very big fan of electric motorbikes as of now, but cars, one of my favorites at the moment is Mahindra's BE6E. It may spell as 6E, but I usually call it as 6E. Now, it's a very PJ kind of a terminology, but it does look sexy, man. On the road, it has really good presence, right? So, quite a good car, in fact. But apart from that, in the biking segment, I know a couple of them, like Ultraviolet is doing, a decent job, but their bikes are currently more expensive than a petrol bike, I believe, when it comes to the configuration that they are providing. So, not a very big fan at the moment, but let's see how things turn up in future in this electric biking segment. The only request that I would have with these manufacturers would be, please give gears. I do not want to ride a scooty. It has to be a gear bike, because at the end of the day, the major fun of biking or bike riding is all of your force are controlling this vehicle. That's the major fun part, and I do not want to miss that feeling at any cost. Even though KTM has given quick shifter, I am more comfortable using the gear, the clutch. And of course, on the highways, sometimes here and there, I might still use the quick shifter. But in any given circumstances, I would say about 90% of the times, one more butterfly hit my helmet. So yeah, as I was saying, that in about 90% of the circumstances, I am usually preferring to use the clutch. By the way, since this jacket is black, I can see a lot of death marks on my jacket. These are all the insects that hit me and then they lost their lives. and this is the first use, by the way, so I'll have to of course get it cleaned. By the way, as of now, the whole trip we have covered about 1075 kilometers. Overall we'll be crossing about 1250 change kind of kilometers to and fro, and it was a fun ride, fun ride, man, fun ride. Oh, holy. Now this one would be the third one. Why are all of them hitting me on the left hand side? I have no clue. One more. I just skipped. Anyway. Alright, so all the people who listen to music on YouTube Music, tell me one thing. Don't you guys feel that this app is really stupid? Because you might find one good song, even though you're playing a very good playlist. What it does is, considering one song of that artist, it's gonna bombard you with all possible shit songs, even when you start changing them, right? So what happens is, let's say I'm using Alexa or something else or listening to music. If I'm changing multiple songs of the same artist, it will not recommend me more songs from the same artist. Whereas on the YouTube site, by mistake, one song of Sidhu Moosewala I played, and since then all I'm getting is hip hop, Sidhu Moosewala, like all vulgar hip hops, which I hate. Indian hip hops I'm talking about. I mean, they're stupid songs, yeah, stupid songs. Choose all those cuss words they're putting in the song to get viral. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, so for the last, I would have changed like roughly 25-30 songs as of now. It's either Sidhu Moosewala or all those hip hop artists who of course come because of the cuss words. My goodness, of course KTM should have probably given a screen mirroring option so that I can go on YouTube, find another playlist or something like that, because now if I have to change the song, all I can do is either forward, that's the next song, or the previous song. That's all I can handle. Anyway, "22 minutes slower, why?" Alright, about 105 kilometers to go, roughly 2 hours. क्या हो गया? Okay, I think mostly that stand issue again. That's why he's asking me to stop. Anyway, let's see what happened. हाँ, क्या हो गया? हाँ, साइड तो लगानी है, कुछ तो हुआ है. Yep. I'm not sure if you can see. So he's using his foot to get the stand down, and again the stand issue. I'm pretty sure about that. Is it the stand issue? No. वो गया? हाँ, उड़ गया. अरे यार. उसका माइलेज उतरा ही. Yep, the stand issue. Let us get it fixed again. All right. Last 93 kilometers to go, 1 hour 52 minutes. The weather is getting better and better, I would say, more pleasant now. The sun is hidden now in the clouds, and this is way more comforting than before. Earlier, the heat was almost about to initiate my headache, but luckily the sun went back in the clouds, and now I'm all fine. So it gets sometimes very difficult, in fact, when you're riding in summers with all the gears and everything. Your body is taking a lot of stress, and that stress ultimately converts into a headache, in case you're like me, a person with migraine. So yeah, but now we are entering Bengaluru, so things are looking pretty fine. wind pressure is from the front. For that reason, the bike is taking more front in order to pace past 135 or 140, I would say. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad that this bike can do it 150 at least, because my previous bike, Himalayan 411, my goodness, 120, 130, it used to strain so much. Oh, but yeah, I loved that bike, of course. Wapiti, her name was, my first love, I would say, when it comes to bikes. This one's the new one, and I love you, girl. Yeah, I'm really proud of you. Anyway, looks like we are gonna have a pleasant entry to the city. I just hope it doesn't rain once we are in the city, because that will be a mess up. We can't stop anywhere to wear the gears and everything. I mean the rain gears. Everything is inside the bags, and I do not want to unpack and again go through the whole process of wearing those rain gears. By the way, this feature which tells you to take the flyover, whoever in Google came up with this feature, really appreciate, man, really appreciate. Godsend, because earlier it used to be so confusing about if we should take the flyover or not. Now it makes things easier. It tells you, take flyover, done. I don't know why it took Google so many years to introduce this feature, by the way. But now since they have, I'm glad they have. Alright, so we did stop at Shri Sarbhana Bhavan. Roughly 80 kilometers, 70 kilometers. हैं? हाँ हो गया बस चलो निकलेंगे. So he's planning to go to Hosur service center. अब हटा. हट गया. So he's going to the Hosur service center now, because it will get very difficult for him otherwise to reach home, which is about 100 kilometers. With traffic, yes. In the traffic it is even more difficult, so he needs to cross about, आ रहा है, गया अभी 40-50 kilometers of traffic. So before he does that, it is better if he goes to the service center and get it fixed. आ रहा है, अभी नहीं आ रहा. And for me, I have about 71 kilometers remaining, so I'm directly gonna head home. वैसे 40 मिनट ही है, हो जाएगा. चलो, बाय, टेक केयर, राइड सेफ. हो जाए तो बताना. Okay, right, last 71 kilometers. To home. Thank God to the weather, man. Had it been sunny, this ride would have been really difficult. So we have almost done 1150 kilometers, and roughly by the time I reach home it will be 1200 kilometers. Imagining 1200 kilometers with the sunny weather through Tamil Nadu is horrifying in itself. So you can imagine, man. Oh. Anyway, so we are done, and now we are headed separate ways. So this is a warning that's coming from my charging wire. It wasn't like this before. I do not know why this is happening today, but anyway, all I have to care about is reaching home as soon as possible, and then I'll charge my phone with the normal charger. So that should fix it. Let's see. Alright, so I would say the last of good highways before we enter Bangalore and encounter the Bangalore traffic. So this would be the last stretch that's gonna be this smooth and this beautiful. So I believe in one small thing. So no matter where you're traveling on the bike, nothing feels tiring as much as entering back in the city. Please, please, no rain. I got a few droplets of water on my windshield. Let's hope it doesn't rain. No, please. I do not want to wear the rain gears. Come on, rain gods. Rahm karo. Anyway, so as I was saying, you would not feel the ride tiring or the trip tiring altogether unless you're returning back to the city. When you return back to the city, I do not know, for some reason the last 1 hour, 1.5 hours, the moment you enter the city, it gets too, stressful on your body. Right now, it's, of course, it's a natural thing that's happening, right? You were riding on such beautiful roads, you were riding really fast, things were under control, and suddenly you have to tackle the traffic, the heat, slower speeds, the air intake for both the bike and the rider gets really tight. And that is what I feel actually exhausts you. Otherwise, for example, when we were going to the destination Vagamon, while reaching there, it was a peaceful setting. You were entering the hills. It brought you a lot of happiness, and automatically when we reached there, it didn't feel much on your body, right? So, however, the moment you start coming back to Bangalore, the moment this Hosur area starts coming up, probably about 50 to about 100 kilometers before the city, you'll start feeling the strain that's coming on your body. So that's the overall idea of your ride, right? I have seen some people telling me that 500 kilometer looks so tiring, man. How can you do it? Trust me, it's easy. 500 kilometers is nothing unless you have to return back to the city, man. So yeah, that was it. Anyway, apart from that, for the people who are planning to find new destinations for their one-day ride, I would not call it one-day ride. So it is a one-day ride from Bangalore to your destination practically, because you're covering about 600 rough kilometers. Even though the roads are good, still 600 is the limit, I would say, on a bike for a day, right? So considering that Vagamon is a really, really sorted place, you will really be delighted the moment you start entering Vagamon. Even Munnar, in fact. So Munnar and Vagamon are very similar to each other. I would say the difference, I'd say, would be, I guess there are two different hills nearby to each other. Hardly about 60-70 kilometers distance is there between the two hills, right? So both the hills are pretty good for vacations, for your trips. Now, I do not know about the weekends at Vagamon. I'm not really sure. Munnar, of course, have high amount of traffic during the weekends, but not quite sure about Vagamon. However, while we were coming out of Vagamon, we saw a lot of cars, a lot of jeeps coming from Tamil Nadu and nearby Kerala places. So that's a very normal thing, by the way. For example, I'm from Himachal, so I also know that people from Rajasthan, UP, Bihar, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab travel to Himachal during weekends. Similarly, these destinations that we are exploring, right, like Vagamon or Munnar, these places also are frequently visited by the neighboring states, people from the neighboring states, and even in fact the same state during the weekend. So Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, I usually never recommend anyone to plan a trip. We ourselves avoid as much as we can to go for a weekend trip. We always prefer a weekday So when I say weekday, anywhere from Monday till Friday is a sorted case. Weekends usually are tough. Most of the places will be jam-packed. It takes time to experience those places with more people around. You don't really enjoy the nature, man. So that's also one more thing which I personally don't like. So I also do not recommend anyone to go to the crowded places because you're not experiencing the nature. Otherwise, it's your call. Come on, it's your life. I choose to live my life according to my rules, according to my wish. Similarly, I would recommend you to live yours according to your life, rules or your wish. Now let's see how many kilometers. 55 kilometers remaining, 1 hour 20 minutes. Okay. So yeah, as I was telling Suman Bhai also, the last 20-25 kilometers the one which goes through the inner parts of the city will take about an hour, whereas out of the 70 kilometers or roughly 40-45 kilometers would take hardly 40 minutes. So a minute per kilometer, I would say. Right, so that's almost gonna end. Just 54 kilometers remaining. So I'm guessing the last 30 kilometers will be through the city. The only hope I'm having at the moment is that it shouldn't rain. Bangalore usually experiences evening rain, so have to be careful and quick. I do not want to get caught up in the rain. Alright, so recording stopped because the battery got over. Alright, got it. No worries, mate. I charged this one. Oh. Poor trucks. When they start climbing these roads, it gets difficult for them, man. And then the traffic comes into picture because these large vehicles are moving pretty slow. So it's raining. It is raining. I'm not gonna wear the rain gears. If it rains heavily, I'll probably put on the rain cover for the bag behind, but not for myself. Enough is enough. Alright, so as kind of guessed, the time now remaining is about an hour, 54 minutes for the last 30 kilometers. So it was an hour 35 minutes for 71 kilometers. So we have covered like 41 kilometers in the past 35-ish minutes or 40 minutes. And now 53 minutes for 29 kilometers. I'm guessing there'll be some traffic at the last, or probably I'll be doing about 20 kilometers in the last 40 minutes, I guess. But let's see. So my speed earlier has been a kilometer per minute. Roughly, in the past, I would say 50-60 kilometers. But in the last, it will be 1 kilometer every 2 minutes. So that indicates traffic, but still less traffic. Not much to worry. अरे यार, इसको अब लेफ़्ट जाना है. एक बंदा सीधा चल रहा है. अच्छा, ये सबको ही लेफ़्ट जाना है. आई थिंक दे आर सपोज टू टेक टर्न और समथिंग. धीरे की चल रहा है, धीरे की चल रहा है. अबे क्या फ़ायदा है एसयूवी चलाने का भाई. Roughly after 2.6 kilometers, I have to take a left, go in the service road. I am guessing, this is what I am guessing, should be the case, and then I'll have to take a right turn, or maybe not. Let's see. I'll give an update shortly. Alright, so this is the Hosur toll. Just after this toll, I have to take the service road and I have to go through the city. It will be, I guess, roughly 20 kilometers and about 42 minutes, I'm guessing. I'll tell you why it's gonna take a longer time. Two reasons. One, of course, is a traffic, but you can still say that it's afternoon time. Chances are you won't have that kind of a traffic, which normally comes in the morning or the evening hours. But the road condition is really bad from where I'm gonna go. So I know majority of the traffic is gonna be because people are not able to drive or ride at like average 40-50 ka speed. I'll show you what I mean. You'll be seeing the road pretty soon, so I guess that'll help. क्यों खड़ा है भाई यहाँ एकदम बीच में. मतलब what is the sense? Why do people not use brains, man? Oh, baap re. What was that? No idea, man. Oh. The moment you start entering this road, you'll encounter random potholes. I really don't understand the brain of these people who ride on the right hand side and ride slow. I'm really curious. See, so 38 minutes, 20 kilometers. Let's try to cover this 20 kilometers in 30 minutes instead of 38. Low visibility? What low visibility, man? What is low visibility? Alright. So, about 15 minutes for 6 kilometers. This is the condition of the road, and believe it or not, I'm seeing this road exactly like this for the past years. Very good, my friend. For past years, man. I mean, I'm really not sure what the government, no matter what government comes, no matter what MLA comes, I really do not know why do they not fix this up. It's dusty, full of potholes. Look at this. And by the way, monsoons are about to start. Every year for the past 3 or 4 years since COVID, I would say, every time monsoon comes, there are big time potholes, accidents are happening, people are getting, I would say, dying on the road because they cannot see the pothole during the night or when it's filled with water and all that. I mean, government is least bothered. BBMP is least bothered. All these, I'm really not sure why so much corruption in Karnataka. Do these Kannadiga politicians do not feel the responsibility that this is their state as well? If I had been the MLA here, or I mean, if I had the control of power, right, I would have made things so much better. I would have pulled all the strings to make sure my state, my city is known worldwide. Whereas, no matter what party comes here, no matter what MLAs get selected, I've rarely seen a responsible one, at least in Karnataka region. I really pity you people. I mean, Kannadigas. I have a lot of love for your land, but your politicians, they need slipper treatment. Look at the conditions. The construction is never ending. Plus, they'll start the construction in order to get kickbacks, right, from these builders and all these people, and then they'll stop it in between. Then they'll again float another tender, again do corruption, get kickbacks, and again do the same thing. So this is I mean, this has been happening since ages. At least in Karnataka, since at least I'm here, I'm only seeing this. Look at this. And by the way, the monsoon hasn't yet started. Of course, rains are there. Now imagine what all mishaps can happen here. Look at the road condition, man. Look at the road condition. Oh, really bad. Anyway, let me listen to the songs. Oh, alright, so I am almost home. So yes, I did finish my 20 kilometers in 30 minutes instead of 38. We are arriving at home, in fact, almost 15 minutes before time. So we are arriving at 3:55, and I am guessing that probably in 10-15 minutes it's gonna start raining. So lucky me. That's the apartment where I live as of now. I'm gonna change pretty soon because the traffic here, it's pathetic. This U-turn used to be in front of my entry gate, but now they have shifted it here. So now again, by the way, earlier where I used to take a U-turn from here left, now I have to go again a little ahead and come from there. So fucked up situation of this area. Anyway, we are home. Oh, it was a fun ride, man. Fun ride. Loved it. Every bit of it, in fact. All the goods and bads. I'm gonna remember this for a long, long time. Well, so our trip has finally ended. I have arrived home. Let's see how many kilometers did we do altogether. Altogether 12-14 kilometers. Anyway, so that's all for this trip. I'll see you in the next one. If you have any questions related to the route, my bike, or the luggage, or any of the gears. So just to give you an idea, I'm having a LS2 Explorer plus carbon fiber helmet, Exxon, I think tourer jacket, Viatera gloves, and the tail back. So if you have any questions related to these, do point it out. Even shoes, for my shoes, so any questions, put it in the comment section and I'll address them over there. But apart from this, any feedback, anything, feel free to comment. Anyway, so that's all for this trip. See you next time. Adios, goodbye, and ride safely.